Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 with me, Dan, and the BMW Slothz team. We've got a lot to go over before this race. Started with the fitness centre and the analysis suite upgrades. We've managed to get the pit crew up to what I guess is level 2, because level 1 being nothing. It's not seeming to be helping us too much if you've watched any of the previous episodes. But maybe we can improve them a little bit later on as we go flying through this. We get some more facility upgrades, unlocking some more upgrades for us to install on the car, and then we have this event for the marketing team to go through. This option reduces some acclaim, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take the acclaim and just lose a little bit of cash in the process. Continuing on, there's the drag reduction upgrade that we got in the last episode. There is a nose cone structure upgrade, which is for the chassis, which must put us, right there, second place behind Red Bull as we pick up this brakes upgrade. It's all happening down at BMW Slothz. There's the confirmation of the drag update going on the car. And there's just a quick look at what we've got left. We're still top of the table in aero, which is going to help us greatly in tracks like Austria, I imagine, as will the additional chassis upgrades that we've been picking up. Here's another upgrade coming for the personnel. Looks like this time we're going to go for the pit equipment to try and get rid of some of these goddamn issues that we're having. And there's the performance jump that we have. We're now up to 5th, but basically tied with Alpine and very close to the rest of the leaders. On to P1 we go, and it's straight into the 100% success for 180 points. And then we'll try our luck with the 19. We do get it. Unfortunately, because of the nature of that first race strategy pack, and we've run out of time pretty much already. So we try our luck with a fuel efficiency 25%. We actually get it, which is incredible. And move on to P2. Where we once again go for 180 points. All of these points adding up greatly here. We get another 360 there in total straight off the bat, and then it's a case of kind of maneuvering ourselves through the rest of these development discounts to try and get those final 90 pointers and to try and pick up anything useful. So the brakes are an area we're going to have to invest in given the amount of upgrades that we've been picking up, so we can actually stop the car after we get to the end of the straight, which will be helped, of course, by actually getting these 90 points here. If the game would allow us, and we do on the second try, we've got one more set of them to get, but they are locked behind a reliability upgrade, which is something that we're not focusing on too much. There's another rear downforce upgrade. That's something we will be getting later on. And another look here, I guess. We'll see what we do. It's a tough one. We've just missed out, actually, on that other one. So we'll go for the NG UK. And can't get anything else. So it's back over to R&D. We reluctantly pick up the MG UK upgrade. And then move over to this one to get another fuel efficiency one. And now it's race time at last. Well, as you can see, that was a pretty busy start of the episode there with upgrades across the board, and of course on that performance graph picking up those reliability upgrades will just boost us up the table from 5th a little bit more. But as you can see, with us jumping up the ranks a little bit more, it's anyone's game at the moment. So don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get to see what the outcome will be by the end of this season. This is as far as I've recorded, so I have no idea where things go after this. Maybe I'll find out later this week. For you, of course, that will be next Tuesday, I suppose. Onto the starting grid we go. Lando Norris once again starting off alongside Max Verstappen on the front row. These two will be ones to watch throughout this championship. They're followed by Sergio Perez, our teammate Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and then myself there in P6, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, and George Russell and Lance Stroll. Then we have Yuki Tsunoda alongside Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen, Alex Albon and Théo Pourchaire, Oscar Piastri, Zhou Guanyu very high up the board, Robert Schwartzman ahead of Dan Ticktum, and Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi at the back as per usual. Dan Ticktum actually gradually falling further and further down the starting grid with every race that we come to, which is interesting to say the least. I don't know what Mercedes are doing at the factory. I guess they've just filled his entire car with sand rather than actually sandbagging. But let's be honest, if it's Dan Ticktum, it was deserved. But now let's focus on our championship though, and get a lovely shot of Fernando Alonso, who of course loves his pink Alpine helmet. Right, down to the track then, and P6 to start off, so much better than the start of the season. See if we can convert this into another podium as we did in season 2. Maybe we'll even be fighting Fernando Alonso for it. But down into turn 1, it's the two Ferraris who get away quite well there. A big slide from us as we go through the first corner. Massive slide from Lewis Hamilton as he tries to outdo us in that area as well. He just cannot allow anyone else to have a win, can he? As we actually crash into Charles Leclerc going up the inside of us. It sends us into a bit of a wobble through this section, which isn't ideal. We'll go and look on board in a moment at what happened to him. I think he just tried to dive down the inside, and I had no idea he was going to try that, and that nearly resulted in the first safety car on F1 22, which for some bizarre reason just never seems to come out, and there never seems to be an issue. I might have to fix that with mods on F1 23 if that continues to be the case. At least it makes the races a little bit more interesting. Anyway, there you can see the back of our teammate Carlos Sainz, and as we go down into turn 1, both Ferraris go ploughing past us on the outside, forcing us to this slippery curb, which we lose the back end on. There's Lewis Hamilton popping a sick drift in front of us, and speeding off into the distance to claim his Drift of the Year award from DHL or whoever's issuing it. Here it is on board. Actually, he went across that curb very slightly there, and speaking from experience, I can say that is an annoying curb. This is Charles Leclerc making an audacious move up the inside, which I did not see coming whatsoever, and potentially picking up some damage. I'll rejoin on lap 3 here, which is dangerous for Lewis Hamilton because we are within half a second of him now, which means we'll be getting DRS. We know it. We've put a load of battery deployment out. DRS is open. He is getting a pull for long from Fernando Alonso. He swipes at us. Clearly knows that we have the superior speed here and wants to stop us. It did not work. So Lewis Hamilton, we are past. And now we have an opportunity to fight Fernando Alonso, who in the last season we followed to the finish line and tried to steal a podium off of him. In fact, that was a great race. We had some fights with both McLarens in that race, and some absolutely godlike straight line speed, especially down this straight into the final couple of corners we go. Battery levels looking a little bit worrying for this race with the long straights. We were using a lot of deployment, and that was really putting a strain on the battery. Well, just in general, it was very much a case of choosing the right moment to attack or defend. As we come into the pit lane, just at the end of lap 4, so with the soft tyres on the car, we're coming in just to get them off and put the new mediums on. There are the pit crew, and we'll see what we can do on this occasion when we come to visit them. So far, so good. No, the front left has gone slow again, and once again we sit at the back of the field. Well, now we rejoin a little bit later, but we've got Lewis Hamilton ahead of us again. As a result of the pit crew's incompetence. Once again, funneling money into their pockets has not helped in the slightest, it seems. We're going to have to go for a level 3 or 4 pit crew, whichever you prefer to call it. I guess it depends if you start at level 0 or level 1. Anyway, right, well now we've got all of this work to do yet again. Hopefully this doesn't continue to the end of the championship, because that will become incredibly tedious. One thing that won't become very tedious, though, is watching the back of a Ferrari as we open DRS, or not, along this straight. That will probably explain the lack of rapid closing in. I expect I was sat at the time looking at that, thinking, why on earth are we not gaining on them? They are fighting for position. We do open the DRS, though, down the pit straight. You can see how massive the straight line speed is. We just got straight up the inside of the pair of them and sent them a goodbye gift as we went through as well. No need to pop a drift to outdo Lewis Hamilton from earlier, though. Here we are on lap 12 of 14. Actually, tyres beginning to really suffer right now, but Lando Norris sits ahead of us with a podium position. For some reason, Carlos Sainz has come in for a late stop and put the hard tyre on. I don't know what he was thinking, but now he's got another 2 laps to defend from Lewis Hamilton. I don't know how he's going to do that, but we'll keep an eye on him and see how he gets on. We're following Norris round this lovely stadium-like section to a less lovely motorway underpass. Norris getting a little twitchy at the rear, and we close in on him. Actually, we're very well positioned into this corner and onto the straight. DRS is open. Norris is on his own. Perez is 3 seconds up the road, and we get the McLaren with absolutely no issues. He managed to fight us last year, but this time he has not been able to do anything of the sort. We actually pop a drift in front of him there, just so he had something to do on the final 2 laps. Norris tries to come back at us into turn 1. He's angry about the drift, but we lock up very Sergio Perez style and don't allow him to come past in turn 1. And yes, you did in fact see Oscar Piastri has gone out of the race, which is interesting because we actually lost the Haas last time as well, I believe. So not looking good down at the old Haas team. We will yet again finish on the podium here, as long as we don't bin it into a corner somewhere. Lando Norris also has the option of overtaking us or crashing into us. If he takes one of those options, we will not finish on the podium. Another one to watch being Carlos Sainz, although he has managed to pull out a 7/10 lead over Lewis Hamilton, despite being on the slowest tyre. Down we come into the stadium section, which may or may not have been stolen from the Mexican circuit. Into the underpass, which has been stolen from Singapore. Although at least, as he pop a massive drift there under the motorway, so no one can see it. At least we can say that in Singapore it's in the dark, so you don't have to look at the ugly damn thing as the cars go underneath it. Down the back straight we go. There's Carlos Sainz in the background cheering us on, probably, or shouting profanities. I don't think we're at that point yet, but we'll have to ask him afterwards in private. We come around the final corner. Lando Norris could not do it. We crossed the line, and that will be a lovely P3 for us to help in our championship battle. And of course, don't forget our teammate Carlos Sainz, who finished 5th, just behind Lando Norris. So a nice 10 points for the team there. But the winner, yet again, it seems, is Red Bull Porsche with Max Verstappen. Clearly, he is trying to take Lando Norris's title away of most wins in a season, which he holds from F1 2021, where he just won everything, or at least tried to. There he is, winning again. Maybe he'll become a 2-time world champion, since of course he lost out to Charles Leclerc in Season 2. We'll have to see. Stick around to find out. And here were the final results. It was a Red Bull 1-2 with Max Verstappen ahead of Sergio Perez, and we pick up fastest lap in 3rd. Then we had Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, and Yuki Tsunoda. Over to the Drivers' Championship, there's changes all around. Max Verstappen takes the lead ahead of Lando Norris. We move up to third ahead of Fernando Alonso. Then we had Lance Stroll moving ahead of Charles Leclerc. Then Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, George Russell, and now Carlos Sainz moves up to 10th. Further down the order, we have Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, Dan Ticktum, Kevin Magnussen, Alex Albon, Oscar Piastri, Teo Pourchaire, Robert Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, Zhou Guanyu, and Nicholas Latifi. And over in the Constructors' Championship, McLaren remain at the top, but it's not a good day for Ferrari as they drop to 4th behind Red Bull and BMW Slothz. Then we had Alpine in 5th, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, Haas, Williams, Audi, and Aston Martin. That's all for now. We'll catch you in the next one.